Okay, this is another video of what I'm doing on the stereo console. I'm not sure which video this is, what number this is, but anyway, I'd like to show you what I've done so far. These really aren't all that accurate or really good videos because they, I guess I would set up a tripod and show you every step, but sometimes I don't have enough time. By the time I set up the tripod and everything, I'm out of time. The one thing I found is I try to make it, if I can only do it for a few minutes, I don't put my pressure on myself to do this because this is supposed to be fun, and it is. So if I want to do it for a couple of minutes, that's it. And, I don't try to push it any farther. If I want to work on it for a couple hours, which I usually end up doing, it's much more enjoyable. But as you can see, I've gone ahead and filled in, got an edge. Of course, I've rounded this edge over. It's much easier than trying to get a real sharp edge. But this is going to be on the ground. Remember, this is the bottom. This is the new board, and it just kind of matches up with there. Got a little bit of a gap there, but it's on the bottom. I probably will fill it, but it doesn't really matter. What matters is the part that shows, and you can see I've kind of filled in, and I've started to fix the little corners here and there. What I've got here is, I don't know if you can see, let's see, but I've kind of, filled in a little bit on the front. This is the bottom, but it will be the front, and I've started repairing that and got all that pretty much squared away. Since this isn't a perfect restoration, I just went ahead. It's so much easier to round the edges. That way you don't have to get that perfect fine edge. If it was a perfect restoration, then I guess I would do that. But I don't have, I could get the edge. It would just take me so long. I don't have the skill. And then the first time it got dragged along a floor or a carpet or something, it would probably chip off. And you can see I filled in there was a dent, which really isn't necessary because it's on the bottom. The bottom just has to be somewhat level. And I had to kind of make the front, bring it up and, make it level to the back. I was going to put, if you remember, a little piece of wood here to fill in, but it was just such a small amount. And as you can see, my pins that I used to strengthen the side where the Bondo was, you're just barely showing through. So I just got it, I got really lucky and got it right. And you can see right here, I popped a little bit out. It was a little bit too, I've actually got the spot putty a little too thick, but I'll go ahead and fill that in, and after it sits a while and hardens up real good, it should do fine. And if it does chip out a little bit or something, in the future I can fill it in. And if it does a real bad job, or if it starts chipping real bad, which I don't think it'll do because this is Bondo right here, I'll go ahead and I'll just put maybe a thin strip of wood or something on, all of it, or put some little round, not sure what they're called right offhand, but, they help the furniture slide or whatever. But anyway, I just wanted to show you how far I'd gotten. Now, what I'm doing right here, I'm going to save the front. I'm not going to paint that black like I'm going to put the rest of it. The rest of it I'm going to paint black, and then I'm just going to take a scrub pad. Once you paint it satin black, you take a scrub pad and just go like the grain of the wood, and actually it comes out really nice, gives it a good finish. It hides all kinds of defects and everything. For this purpose, I've got some other stuff that I've done that way. Works out real good. But this part right here, this was the only parts, the actual front of it wasn't damaged. So I'm just going to let that stay brown because I've got another piece of furniture that I had done in all black and left the top brown. And it actually looked really good. It like matched really well. So I'm going to see, obviously if this doesn't really look good, I'll just go ahead and spray it, black. But this was like in the 70s, and you can see I'm starting to tape it off. I use like a painter's tape. What you want to do is probably, painter's tape, I've had it leave stuff behind, even though it's not supposed to. That won't come off with acetone. but sometimes it works pretty good. I don't know. I've had it leave stuff behind. I would use some masking tape, but you got to be careful with masking tape because sometimes if you leave it on too long and it's hot weather, you're never gonna, you're gonna have a hard time getting off the glue also. But I think this, I should have this. It's gonna rain for tomorrow, but I'll probably go ahead and finish taping this off Sunday, and I may have it painted by next week. So what I'll do is I'll, got this tape on here. It comes off pretty easy, and I'll go ahead and fill it all in with newspaper so I don't get any overspray on this. And then, I'll go ahead and spray this, all this, spray it with primer. I'll finish sanding, spray with primer, and then once I've got this done, I'll probably go ahead and spray this black and do this, and then at that point I'll be able to flip it all over and start working on it from the top down. So I've gotten the bottom, and after I get the bottom, I'll go ahead and flip it over and I'll get the top. But I think I'm going to leave that wood grain area there. I'll just leave it like it is. And you can see in the 70s, this is probably late 60s, early 70s, they started using chipboard and fiberboard, and you can see it's kind of uneven and everything. If you get something like early 60s and and older, the quality of the woodwork, it's actual wood, it's just fantastic. It's unbelievable. And of course what I do here is, be careful. I kind of like tuck the tape in really carefully. I don't use the sharp edge. This is my dull long blade, but I just use that to kind of tuck it in, so when I spray it, it's kind of getting up under in here because this is going to show. But, use little things like that. I also, as you can see, I always keep cardboard around because if you're kneeling down on the ground, it's so much nicer to throw a piece of cardboard. Believe me, try it. And, at first, when you're not used to it, it seems kind of annoying. You got to move it. Just get a couple of them or a few of them, old cardboard box. But when you're kneeling on cement or dirt or whatever, if you don't want to wear the knee pads or, whatever other things that they have to protect your knees, this is pretty nice. It's clean. You don't feel the grit. You can kind of, if it gets stuff on it, you can tip it up and knock it off. But that makes it really nice. My cat here got in a little fight with another cat, I guess. So she's kind of hanging out and taking it easy. Her job is to eat the mice, the rats, keep the squirrels out of the attic, and whatever other animals that are pests. But she is kind of moving slow today. All right, but I just wanted to show you a little bit so far, a little bit more so far. You can see I've started working on the edges right here. Started working on those. I'll go ahead and I'm going to paint the sides black. Everything's going to be black except the very front, which is just in like good condition. But I just kind of laugh at, you probably can see how this is kind of cocked a little. The quality, when they started going to chipboard and everything, like in the 70s, chipboard and fiberboard, and, just the quality just went down. If you ever see the quality on some of the older models, the early 60s and then 50s, 40s, whatever, 30s, it's just fantastic. They actually built furniture. This is just, this is the beginning of the throwaway era. But anyway, I'll save it, and I will make more videos as I go along. But anyway, I just wanted to show you. The main thing is don't get to where you're forcing yourself to do it. Leave if you want to work on it a few minutes, and always do it in little bits, so you can quit any time that you want. You're not forcing yourself.